Welcome back to Night Mind, friends. And welcome back to everybody's favorite never-ending yellow nightmare. It's been about 10 months since our first foray into the Backrooms, and it feels like enough time to check back in. We'll hear from them later on, but before we get into it, I just wanted to mention that tonight's trip is sponsored by our friends at Raycon, because it's tough exploring endless liminal spaces without music. Thanks in advance, Raycon. Now, to say that the popularity and notoriety of the Backrooms has certainly spread since February would be an understatement. The work of Kane Pixels has made the awareness of the very concept of the Backrooms greater than it's ever been. This year's Streamy Awards Creator Honor was awarded to him for his work, and that's all that really needs to be said of it, isn't it? And as for anything else that could be said, you've already seen where discussion of it has taken place in your own circles of online entertainment. It's quite literally everywhere. But as you well know, in our corner of the internet, numbers are just trivia compared to the heart of the matter. What has become of the work? How has the story grown, and how has the telling strengthened? There are enough installments now that we can put these in order of the timeline presented in the video descriptions. And for purposes of not treading over too much ground the majority of you have already seen, as I do encourage you to do before we proceed naturally if you're not caught up on the series, we're going to take an approach worthy of async research and be clinical about this, with a focus on the noteworthy. As always, I'll give those of you who haven't caught up with the Backrooms a moment to do so over on its channel. I've provided a link in the video description. You may also want to stop by my first video on the Backrooms, going over the premiere lineup of episodes in depth. It'll give you a good starting point for understanding the reality that we're looking at. Do whatever prerequisite viewing that you need. I'll be right here when you return. All set? Okay, let's open the barrier and step back inside. The first timeline upload is Prototype from May 10, 1982, courtesy of Oak Ridge National Library, conducted under supervision of Philip R. Heyman. We witness a small-scale machine that, naturally, will lead to development of Async's threshold device. It's also a good video for establishing just how long this work has been pursued. There seem to be voices mixed into the audio near the end of the clip, which may be for atmosphere, and also may not. Difficult to discern what they are at this point. The third test, 7288. According to the narration within the video, on July 2, 1988, the Async Research Facility tested its low-proximity magnetic distortion system for the third time. Details regarding the results of the experimentation have not yet been released. During a press conference held in April of 1988, Ivan Beck, Vice Director of the Async Foundation, described the intention of these tests, stating that the program, if granted sufficient backing from the United States government, will offer a solution to all current and future storage and residential needs, and save billions of dollars on property construction and management. We've already witnessed the recording of the third test. Moving on now to First Contact and Collateral. 10/17/89. This is test number 6, resulting in the world of the Backrooms opening. Notes are given about detection of an obstruction during the testing process, giving us a hint that from the beginning of discovery, something went wrong. The unlisted video attached to this, Collateral, shows the day of the Great San Francisco earthquake of '89. It was a 6.9 magnitude quake that killed 67 people, knocked out power, started fires, and caused over $5 billion in damage. We can assume the success of Async generated the quake at the center of this disaster. It's pretty clear that their experiments are not without consequences. Missing Persons, 2390. A chart is shown representing the trend of missing persons cases from 1987 to 1993, with the success of test number 6 from October 17, 1989 marked in blue. A previous spike on this chart may correlate to initial tests run with a system starting from test number 3, something we can theorize because we know the opening of the Backrooms created the infamous no-clip zones in reality that led to so many missing people. The graph's movement is very clear. After the incident at Async, the number skyrocketed, a bloody, horrifying uphill climb with a devastating future projected. Async personnel in biohazard suits are seen exploring the Backrooms, connected to the entrance by a tether. It's not long before they make a shocking discovery. The ending contains a message in reverse that says, "If anybody, blame him." The remarks of the Async personnel are interesting. Organic matter is covering the body recovered from the Backrooms, some kind of fungus. And then we're given what looks like a microscope photo. A clue from Kane's coffee page already alludes to a bacteria present in the Backrooms. Autopsy Report, 2590. Description of the body found in the Backrooms is given. 18 to 21-year-old male, cause of death likely malnutrition. Somehow, decomposition process appears stunted, like portions of the body stopped decaying and were sustained. Other areas, however, were completely overtaken by culture. Material samples reveal a mutated strain of simple hay bacillus, a bacterium found in soil and gastrointestinal tracts of humans, marine sponges, and grazing animals like deer. The doctor's opinion that this should be completely benign is correct. This bacterium is more like an element of normal processes, not a threat to the body. The TP in an office relays several images in rapid succession, as if possessed, but focuses on one bit of text not fully revealed. To that point, the sentiment, all serious engagements in, this environment was never suited for mankind. To maintain, delusion would be to condemn. It's already quite clear the environment async has discovered isn't suited for mankind. The mystery presented here is in the same line as the one that rose from the message about the John Doe. Who is interfering with this footage to speak to us? And if the bacterium is a strain found in digestive tracts, what does that mean for the backrooms? Is it home to something that produces an excess of this mutated bacteria? Or is it like a massive intestinal tract? As others have said, mostly in the comment section for this video, the voice acting in this is superb. You really can hear the increasing anxiety in the scientist's voice. It's a wonderful performance. Informational video 22990. A Project KV31 Research and Development Team video. The study and development of the async low proximity magnetic distortion system, aka the Threshold. Project is known by many codenames, including Backrooms. Unauthorized usage of these terms outside of the async research facility is strictly prohibited, the video states, and a blue screen message interrupts, which says, not that it would do any good, but, and there's maybe an if followed by an O, possibly another F? Whoever is speaking has the impression that saying these terms outside of async doesn't matter. Interesting. A timestamp is given, 2/29/1990, 11:36 a.m. This is an episode many people have seen for its highly substantial look into the further reaches of the backrooms, and its admittedly good drama. A research team is sent in, and one member gets distracted by sounds down a hallway like you might hear at a party. A reality shift occurs, looking like a glitch in a system, and this researcher is now separated from his team. In walking around, he discovers some weird black fungal material on the floor. The lost team member continues walking, and soon finds himself in some sort of control room. The alarm goes off, the lights go red, and we switch to an overview of chalkboard mapping of the area. Motion detected, 3590. 7 modified video cameras are optimally positioned along lateral division A. Each camera has been modified to send out an alert and begin recording when motion or substantial noise is detected. Following is a compilation of all detected motion alerts received during night of Monday, March 5th. 19:39:43. Camera 3 picks up a research trio. One in lead, one with a briefcase, and another bringing up the rear. 20:26:43. Returning researchers pass Central Division D. Only 2 of them appear. 21:2:12. Supervisor passes Camera 6. Unknown if this is the final member not seen earlier, but this one has a briefcase, and there was only one briefcase carrier. We saw them. 21:14:04. Noise detected. Threshold barrier closed. Sounds like the alarm system in the control area from the previous video, which must mean that sound indicates activity from control. 16:44. Noise detected to be determined. The sound is pretty alive, and we've seen the things that appear to be alive in this place. 2:13:35. Noise detected. Microphone failure. Whatever's creeping around may have taken out what's listening to it. 3:53:43. Motion detected, and a discovery is made of a creature in the line of sight. It seems healthier than the stringy ones we've seen so far. Pitfalls, 5690. Another widely seen installment, documented by Marvin E. Lay. We find the control area has been built immediately beyond the threshold device entrance, and the spot we saw framework in before is now the barrier. Marvin follows up 3 other researchers. A cable wheel is being installed at the start of a tape line. A consistent beeping is heard, a new mechanism in this place for leading people back to the control room. Researchers press on with the new rope installed and find the pitfall area. One researcher makes it ahead and requests that Marvin make it across quickly with a camera. He falls into the layer below, eventually hears a person yelling, finds the twisted hallway, and discovers the strange neighborhood, the outside mimicked on the inside. He's pulled along again by the voice, and Marvin asks, what if Miller's right about the null zones? This is a question related to material revealed in the first few uploads for the Backrooms, suggesting that there may be strange fields either in the complex or the world that disturb reality. Marvin bringing this up now may suggest that he believes the null zones are allowing people through, which would explain why somebody is yelling for help. After all, the researchers are going to have the discovery of a body in mind. They know it wasn't one of their own, so they've all been thinking about how somebody could have slipped in. Down at the lit-up house, more yelling is heard. There's a room at the back with some chairs, cardboard, shoes, and a backpack. Marv thinks that somebody's been living down here. He proceeds and sees what's been yelling is not a person, then runs. There's a noticeable amount of coughing towards the end of the escape on camera. It could be nothing, but we also know that this place might get you sick. Is there a possibility for a break in the seals of Marvin's suit, especially after his fall? The video report picks up the same day from inside of the async building, with Marvin's message on comms discovering the monster. Then the async research team comes back through the barrier. It seems like Marvin is recovered. An async associate in a suit is waiting for them. Our first unobstructed view of a full human since the initial found footage tape. This is a glorious moment in the creativity of the series. A researcher in his lab coat walks through the building to make a call while another two watch Marvin's recording. A sequence of footage in the backrooms follows, showing the crossing point to that new exploration area where Marv met a monster being boarded off. A new sliding window is also installed. Knowing what we do as an audience, this is a pretty grim thing to see. Anybody else who winds up in the backrooms on this layer or manages to get up to this layer will not be able to get out. Not through the async side anyway. In the video description, there's a link to an unlisted video, which shows a car disappearing from the highway while driving. A crack in reality, or a null zone, seems like it can be a short event as well as a long one, since other cars aren't immediately swept in. Presentation 5890. An FBI warning comes up first, indicating this is an internal product of the Bureau. An async research presentation video follows, introducing their commercial project, the A-Space. A slide that has details of how the magnetic distortion system functions is heavily redacted and skipped over. As the presentation tape plays, we witness a tour in progress through the facility. The commercial appeal aspects and overall functionality of the A-Space continues to be demonstrated, and a blue screen message flashes by. Stretched out and mirrored, it says, "To deceive the Fed." At large, the message is probably created or designed to deceive the federal government. So, the commercial aspect of A-Space is a lie? This video is all meant to secure funding or ward off the Fed for a different purpose? Perhaps this is why the footage is in their hands now. We see footage from the Department of Energy tape archive. The visitor on a tour is a government agent, and he's wearing a button camera. He's escorted through the control room and into the lobby of the complex, where the scale model is placed with some furniture and wall art. The threshold's barrier alarm goes off, the lights power down, and the door starts closing. Researchers are shown at their office set up at the desk. The black and white footage and the distance from the desk makes it hard to gauge whether or not the person in black suit with a white shirt is still the agent, as the overall figure looks slightly different. But discussion seems to still be in line with ideas being pitched to the government about A-Space being a commercial pursuit. This could easily just be a trick of the eyes and the entire group is here, but if that's not the government agents, then were we just informed through visuals that they left him behind to die? Because the Bureau got their hands on the information, I assume that's not the case. Otherwise, how would they have recovered the camera footage? Unless they shut the whole thing down later. I almost feel like we're going to need confirmation later about what happened here. Back to the current position, the alarm goes off. The camera shows the missing researcher from Informational video standing there. He's been gone since 2/29. A time anomaly exists in this place, and this appears to be the first moment Async discovered that fact. Within the video description is a link to an unlisted clip from The Simpsons. Bart is laying in a hospital bed after being struck by Mr. Burns, with only superficial injuries. An ambulance-chasing lawyer appears, trying to convince Homer to sue. A Spanish ad for Dimacol interrupts the flow of the scene. It's not a standard commercial break. There are a few theories on this video's inclusion as addendum to the narrative, everything ranging from the interrupting ad being a message about illness to come for the survivor of the Backrooms, to a suggestion of time hopping because the ad was jumping in the middle of the episode out of turn from its designated ad spot. There's also a theory about the magnetic pulse of the threshold device creating interference on the tape recording. Ultimately, with what we've just seen with a returning researcher, I think it's more underlining how the flow of time is being We're now in the holiday season, and while it isn't always picture perfect, it can always be made better with the right background track, whether it's Christmas music or the kind you'd like to be given an album of. Whether in holiday travel, gift wrapping marathons, dressing the tree, baking, or, if winter hits early, shoveling, Raycon has you covered with offerings starting at half the price of other premium audio brands. Everyone can benefit from Raycons, and right now, the Raycon website is offering free shipping, free returns, and buy now, pay later options to ensure you've got that gift covered. And if for some reason you need it, there's a 30-day happiness guarantee. Raycon's wireless earbuds, headphones, and speakers offer premium sound, useful features, and an almost custom, comfortable fit in an array of stylish colors. There are even fitness earbuds, which come in handy for anyone you know who's already started talking about an exercise-based New Year's resolution. Raycons have up to an amazing 54 hours of battery life, and right now, Raycon has a countdown to Christmas with a new pop-up flash deal for you to take advantage of every single day. Make someone's holiday this season with Raycon. Just click the link in the description box or go to buyraycon.com/nightmind to get 15% off site-wide with code HOLIDAY. And remember, there will also be new pop-up deals every day during Raycon's countdown to Christmas. Again, you can always go to buyraycon.com/nightmind to get the best deals available on Raycon. Thanks to Raycon for the excellent holiday deal, and for supporting our night in the backrooms. Now, mar90archive.tar 691. A tar file represents an archive created by a Unix utility named tar, meant for packing files together for distribution. It came into use in 1979. The name means tape archive. We already covered this one. It was an early upload in the story, demonstrating the progress by async in exploring and documenting the various aspects of the complex. The main takeaway for us is here, the description of Null Zone 4. Null zones are theorized to be areas of disruption in the fields of either the backrooms or physical reality, creating small cracks that people and objects can slip through. Found footage number 2, 8/19/95. It makes sense that this one follows the video relaying information about null zones. A girl is recording what is likely a null zone in her garage, demonstrating its nature. In the process, she falls in, landing in the backrooms. It's a standard exploration video, showing off this layer of the backrooms until coming to a multi-level area with evidence of the fungus-like bacteria. Soon after, the girl discovers something very startling. The car that fell in during one of the addendum clips, with a distinct lack of occupants. A handprint is left on a door nearby, and evidence of blood on the floor as the crash survivor tried to find help. The girl follows the trail, finding a room overtaken by strands similar to the bacteria creature. A framed painting is seen on the wall, and the creature hibernating in the middle of the room awakens. It gives chase, and the girl runs to the room with a hole in the floor. That leads to an area with glowing green light ahead of a pool. Eventually, she's cornered, and an intense green glow races through the walls. The final shot shows the no signal text on a TV connected to a VCR. So either the girl escaped and we're seeing this from her perspective later, or someone is watching this on the regular plane of reality in a home setting. Home 27647.move. This is an unlisted video attached to found footage number 2. It's all mainly home video recordings of a vacation, but features an odd burn-in image that seems to be a photo of a woman. Later on, a sunset is featured that resembles the one from the end of the Autopsy video, the one played on TV. Is this a hint that the person using the camera is the ghost in the async facility that's been communicating? And what is this shot? More ceiling bacteria? The tape ends with a shot of a family, and in the background, focusing in, is a wall painting. The same painting from the overrun room where the found footage girl met one of the monsters. Did the environment change to reflect someone who entered that room, whose memories were captured in this tape? And there's something mixed into this audio, all throughout the track, some kind of speech. I've attempted to isolate it from the music, but to no avail. It's just too mixed in for what I know how to do in terms of audio cleanup. Found footage number 1, 9/23/96. We know this one very well, and in a timeline sense, this is technically found footage number 2 for now. Nothing truly new to gain from this, except to consider one theory that's been discussed. The don't move, stay still writing alludes to the idea that the bacteria monster within the complex actually fused with one of the motion detection cameras, enabling it to hunt down anything inside that it catches in its sight. While it would explain its alien metallic appearance and give some weight to a deeper meaning behind the warning, I'm not quite ready to lock in that theory. We've seen the bacteria in this place growing on non-organic surfaces, but it's the cases of organic beings meeting their demise that we see the most spread. The recovered body and the room where the crash survivor bled out and died, according to the blood trail. You might even notice that the handprint left on the wall is black. It's not like dried blood. That would indicate that it's already been molded over by the bacteria. It does seem to seek out primarily organic matter. I remember, this is a very different video. Very different. With a voice describing a house that was taken by the sea and how it joined all the other forgotten things on the seabed, but the voice remembers them. There's a very evident shot of the prototype and consistent editing showing mirroring of images, suggesting that what we're experiencing as the Backrooms is just a distorted, elongated, and mixed up reflection of the existing world. This falls in line with a discovery made by Marvin during his experience getting lost inside the complex. The street signs within the house were mirrored, all of them. The messages we've been receiving too from the ghost inside the async facility, those messages are all backwards. And what's more, at the end, we're informed, you've always been here. Is it because it is a reflection? If we've always been here, then that means that yes, we've always been inside of the physical locations that the Backrooms is made up of, because it's a reflection. Now, a question to consider. What even is this video? No, really, what is this video? We've already seen the perspective of async and found footage protagonist broken in favor of a more directorial position, but this? It doesn't even have a date in the video description. This kind of breaks the entire pattern that we've seen for the content. I want to try something. Listen. Not simply hear, but listen. This was a tape recording being played. The sounds at the beginning are distinct. This is not some live narration. The tapping of the tape player keys, it indicates this is in-universe, and the warping on the voice, that's familiar too. It's the same kind of torn edge we hear in communications in the async facility. We know that async has installed microphones inside of the complex for the purpose of picking up noises. Is this something recorded from one of those? An eternal ghost is spoken of. And there is a ghost we appear to be dealing with throughout the story. Some force at work, attempting to communicate through technology. Its message is reflected, just like we've seen from the road signs in the house that Marvin found. It's fascinating, isn't it? Seeing something so different, breaking up the pattern. And then, just when you think you're done with the surprises, a new pattern break. Guess it wasn't enough to just talk about time jumps, was it? I'm coming to you now days after this audio was originally recorded, and just a little over an hour after the upload of the video, Reunion. And while it cost me time I did not have in my workflow to speak about it, we need to, because, well, if you've seen it, you already know why. If you haven't, then get over to the channel and watch it, then come back to me. If you're on desktop or phone, check the video description and watch the unlisted video from the link there too. Did you see it? Okay, good. Let's do this fast. I am running on fumes here now. This video's been in workflow for days and I did not see an upload coming when it did. I'm just fortunate enough to have the moment to actually include this segment. Let's address the unlisted video first, recording 14. The date listed is 5/8/90, the very same day as presentation. That's easy enough to understand just from listening to the conversation about the government agent, and apparently, he was there to sign a deal with async, which did occur. He was not left behind in the Backrooms, so we can confirm the events that took place now. Furthermore, this is confirmation that the researcher who was separated in February did in fact appear in the control room, but he didn't recognize anyone, and they didn't recognize him. He said his name was Peter Tench, and the man this current researcher is talking to, Ivan Beck, vice director of async, doesn't seem to take that information well. The researcher we can hear says, hold on, this isn't him, is it? He may be realizing already that this is their missing guy. Meanwhile, we go from shots of a mirrored newspaper to a black and white photograph. So what does the news say? Fiery wreck beside vineyard leaves one dead. The photo that follows seems to show a burnt field. Now, on to the reunion video. It takes place May 25th, 1990, putting it after the events of presentation. The researcher at the start of the video is familiar, but the mug we see on a desk after he shows up isn't. MLML, over a globe image surrounded by coordinates. The coordinates lead to the exact place known by these initials, Moss Landing Marine Labs, in Moss Landing, California. Their website says they're funded and administered by the College of Science at San Jose State University, and the mission of MLML is to provision the marine scientists of the future. Marine labs, huh? We've got a bacterium inside the complex that's found in sea sponges. Speech from an unknown narrator talking about losing a house to the sea, the shells on the ocean floor. Lots of talk about the ocean here. The content of the reunion video is very straightforward for the majority. The researchers break down the panels they used to board off the zone where Marvin discovered a monster, and have brought plenty of equipment to explore it. There's a small rover with a camera sent in to make sure the way is clear, and once it's confirmed, the team moves in to build a floor over the pitfall area to safely reach the other side. We're then presented with a slide that says, while Team A assembles a walkway across room 14D, Mark Bloom, Randall Tashi, and Marvin Lay, camera, conduct an initial layout analysis of room 14C. So Marvin is definitely okay, definitely recovered from his experience, and is once again behind the camera. Now we get to see what was on the other side of this area, the place he was summoned to record during that first trip, and this time, the group is going in armed. The area they discover is like one you might see in a mall. Lots of tile floor, white square pillars, and drop ceiling. The researchers group up after one discovers something incredible, a map drawn on one of the pillars.
Right, it does look like some kind of map.
Yeah. You know, it almost looks like...
I think this is around here, 14C.
Yeah, it's,
Team A, come in, this is Mark.
That's the area we came through, that's 14C, and there's 14D.
Team A, this is Mark, do you copy?
There's B and A.
Standard, do you copy? Repeat, this is Mark, do you copy? No, the signal's dead, we've gone too far. We gotta go back.
What? You sure? We're not that far.
Well, that's all the more reason to get...
Well, if we do get back and they say it's just a non-issue and you just come back around, then I don't see what the... Ah! Oh my god!
He's got my gun! He's got my gun! I repeat, he's got my gun!
Don't move! None of you move!
Okay.
I don't want to hurt any of you. But I will. If I have to, so please, just answer my questions and I'll be gone. How many people are out here right now? Down the hall, how many people are out here?
Wait,
I don't know.
Peter?
Oh, shit.
Marv? Marvin?
Yes, it's me. Is it really you?
It's me.
How? It's been months. We thought you...
I know, that's what they did. They took my life from me, Marv. Everyone thinks I'm fucking dead. My wife and children think I'm dead.
Can you please put down the gun?
Barbara, just tell me. Did they hold a funeral?
Yes.
This is Team A. Do you read
Yes, A-Team, this is Mark, I read you.
Mark, don't.
What are you doing?
We need immediate armed
Mark.
support at room 14C.
Stop.
My team and I are being held at gunpoint by a hostile. I repeat,
Stop.
please send
Don't shoot him.
immediate armed support to room
Stop.
14C.
Don't.
Sorry.
Peter. This is Peter Tench. This is also Peter Tench. Do you remember the last reflected screen in the video before reunion? It was a researcher in a hazmat suit, one becoming two. Peter Tench, in a suit, ended up in the control room, but nobody knew who he was. Peter Tench, out of his suit, is here in the backrooms, having survived since he went missing. There are either two Peters, or the one in the suit only claims that he's Peter, but Marvin was part of his original team. As for the newspaper clipping, Async faked his death. He had a family, and they faked his death, using a fire to cover up his disappearance. Give me a moment here. I want to play what I originally recorded for you as my ending to this video before Reunion was uploaded. This is such an incredible moment to actually be able to put forward in my coverage. Here, listen. The only critique I can offer at this moment is that for all the episodes we do have, the unveiling of the actual points of the narrative and the conflict is occurring at a slower pace than we might be accustomed to. There is very clearly a plot, and it is bubbling up for sure, but at moments it comes in leaps, such as Autopsy, and at others tiny drips, like Prototype. A more consistent rollout of narratively focused content that conveys information to present new questions while resolving previous ones, that would make for a more compelling dramatic experience. Marry the reveals of new information that drive the plot and mysteries forward with the excellence already displayed in dramatic tension and visuals, and the work becomes stronger. My initial concerns for Kane's ability to weave a narrative beyond the found footage short film back in January has been cured. What we need to see now is a stronger confidence and foot forward from Kane the writer to match the muscle of Kane the designer. I believe in his ability and trajectory towards this though. He has a distinct sense of drama that keeps occurring in the work. The ability to deliver more of these moments per episode and unveil more details for us to invest in and build connections with is what's needed. Well, guess what? He did it. In a single upload, he did exactly what I had written about. He shut me up before I could even put the words out there. Bravo, Kane. Excellent development, excellent progress, wonderful advancement in storytelling. This is what it means to make your audience more invested. This is what it means to increase dramatic tension, answer questions, and give us new ones. I am so glad I got to witness the Reunion upload before finishing this video. And you know what? There's nothing left for me to say now. That was a mic drop he just uploaded. I'm gonna sit back, smile ear to ear, and shut up while you show us where all of this leads. Once again, bravo. That's all for now, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this moment of checking in on the Backrooms. Thanks again to Kane for making the Backrooms, of course. Thanks to Raycon for sponsoring this video. Thanks to all of you for watching, and thanks to my supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to support Nightmind, you can do so for just as little as $2 a month, which gets your name in the credits of all major videos and allows you into the Patreon community with our Discord. This also supports the Nightmind Index for new and emerging unfiction projects. And if you can't do Patreon, you might have noticed the new thanks button below my videos. You can donate a personal thanks to me directly this way, and your comment will show up with a special tag. So if you enjoy what I do, or particularly enjoy this episode and want to say thanks that way, you can do so. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for joining me in the dark again this evening. Once more, I'm Nick Nocturne, and I'll be seeing you again real soon. Try to be aware of any null zones while you're out doing your holiday shopping, and until next time, sleep tight.